I wanted to take a video of you and your car because you're after one of your most successful seasons to date. You are one of the 4 or 5 drivers in our region that is taking the top steps almost everywhere he goes. So you're also very interesting because you do things not alone in a sense that you are lonely, but you have a small crew. Yeah. You know what to do and you know how to manage the car even when you're short-handed in the pits. Yeah. And that is something I respect a lot because it's the same problem I was facing a lot of the time when I started drifting. Earlier I had a big problem managing the car in the pits by myself or with only one friend. So let's talk about the car first, and then I'll have
that car.
Yes. So then later I'll have a few questions about you, your future. Yeah. Let's go about the car. Okay. Tell me more about it. Most people that are into drifting should know this car, but tell me what chassis it is and why this chassis.
That's maybe you wanted to hear not what I'm talking now. I only wanted to find a car which is ready now, 2019. Mm-hmm. I needed to choose E36 from Poland, mm-hmm. or my Corolla now, Toyota Corolla AE86 from Switzerland. It's a known car. The head judge of Drift Kings was the owner in, I think, Norwegian or Finland or somewhere in the north. Sold it to Germany. Then it goes to Switzerland. I bought it from Switzerland. Already with the 1GT, it's 8 years, the same engine, no service. Mm-hmm. Like, of course, oil and that stuff, but I didn't open the engine anyway, and it works. Mm-hmm. The engine is reliable, everything is great. Now we changed again to more power because at first it had 300 or maybe 330 horsepower on the engine. Now it's 400, a little bit more maybe, and that's good on the stock engine. Mm-hmm. 500 is the
upper limit.
The upper limit.
Let's open the hood and see the setup.
Okay. So yeah, the engine is stock. One of the biggest problem why it has not that much power because we are running 1.5 bar on the turbo and only have 400 horsepower. That's not a lot for a 1JZ, but stock everything. So also stock camshafts.
So that is a completely stock 2.5 liter GT engine.
GTE. Yeah.
Yeah. It was turbo from factory.
From factory.
And I also see there is no VVTi. So this is an earlier engine. Yeah.
But the turbo is not that big. It's for Brunner EFR 3076, 4000 RPMs. There is like 1.2 bar pressure. Mm-hmm. 100 RPMs later, or maybe 200 RPMs later, we have full boost. Okay. Full boost only means 1.5. It's a lot and it's good and it works.
How far does it rev? Where is the rev limit?
7,500. It's nearly stock because I think stock is 7,300 or something.
But that means you have 3,000 RPM of really usable power range.
And it really works good, especially now we changed the diameter. Everyone who has problems, 3 inch was last time, now it's 3.5 inch, and it saved me 12% of fuel in the higher RPMs, and of course 12% fuel is 12% power. Torque or horsepower doesn't matter, it is more, and you can feel it. 12% is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And it also feels more reliable. The spool is a little bit earlier, I think. We also changed from the normal tape, Titan tape, to the thermo isolation made by Nico Monkey Fab in Austria. He's also one of the things I never told somebody. He's also the new sponsor of the new car. It's not only to save the room, you know, it needs to save the room for like rubber pipes like this or there. Yeah. also the gases are more fluid and the spool is better.
Exactly.
You can feel it, of course, you can feel it.
Often missed is the fact that you actually want to keep exhaust energy inside the exhaust, not in the engine bay.
Yeah.
And that also affects how the engine works.
Yeah.
The interesting thing I see is that the turbo is internally gated.
Yeah.
That's uncommon these days.
Some people tell me, yeah, but if the size is okay, you know that what power goal you have, which engine displacement and which turbo size and everything you have, you can use internal. Most of the drivers use external. The external wastegate, it's easier to control the boost. But it definitely works and it saves space because it's only like this and that's all.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I don't know much about turbo cars, but as long as you don't get turbo boost creep because of a gate that wouldn't let the pressure into the exhaust, it's fine.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing, these seem like stock twin collectors that are modified to run an aftermarket turbo.
You can see it, it's the stock collectors 3-in-1 on both cylinder banks, like 1 to 3 and 4 to 6. And going straight into the turbo, it is a single scroll, but we have a twin scroll flange.
Okay.
But of course it makes the gases come cleaner into the turbine housing.
Yeah.
But on the new car, I don't want to talk a lot about the new car now, but in the new car we have CNC machined collector, and of course it's a lot better
You kept the stock intake plenum. How come? Just simplicity, and it was there, probably working.
It was there, like I bought it and it works. It works good. Also, some use original intake, but top feed injectors.
Yeah.
I use the side feed injectors. As you can see, the rosa, the pink color, it's stock 2 chassis. It's a 1 chassis engine, but the 2 chassis injectors have the same resistance, so you can use it. The ECU handle that like it should, but with more capacity. So more fuel, more power, everything works. On the new car, I will do the same. The same intake, because it's able to handle 1000 horsepower with the intake, but not the throttle body. It needs to be bigger because it's a 55 or 60 millimeters. That's too small for. But our goal on the new car is 600, so would work. But plan is to change that.
I also see that the stock manifold is nice and compact. So it doesn't take too much space in this very small car.
That's the reason. As you can see here, we have the original brake
booster.
It is close here. It is like 2 centimeters maybe. On the new car, we are running pedal box, so you safe place here. But from FMIC, the manifold is a lot bigger and would go into the steering column.
I see.
It's not possible. That's the reason. I have the parts at home, but that's the reason why we will use the stock on the new car also. And of course, Toyota doesn't engineer bullshit. You know, it works. They are building the engine to be a race engine, in my opinion. And you can see it. It's used in drag racing, in drifting, in show cars, in everything, and it's one of the most reliable engine you can use.
They build really good engines. So
of course it is very heavy. Maybe that's one of your questions later, so we can talk about that now. The car has more grip than original. Original has 970, I think. My car has 1070, 100 kilogram more, because the engine is steel block. The roll cage is about 70 kilograms, and the rear end is from Toyota Hilux. It's a solid rear end. It handles more grip than the original, but today at Night Strike we broke it in top 16 against the Italian guy who is very fast.
Yeah.
So we put the low pressure in the rear, and in the warm-up
You broke the rear axle.
Yeah, broke the gears inside.
Yeah. Intercooler piping is properly sized, running from a smaller pipe to a bigger pipe after.
The intercooler is too small. We
Yeah.
have the problem in summer, especially on summer. Today it works super, but like in August, Trackwood or something, the intake temperature gets like 65 or maybe 70 degrees. Then the car puts the boost control down for safety reasons. It's good.
Yeah.
On the first round in Mariupol this year in Hungary, we lost like 100 horsepower, but even got the 3rd place on the podium. But we made it slowly, or
so
putting power away, because you start with 400 and in the next corner you have 300. You know, you can't adjust yourself, your driving, your tires, the grip, everything. You can't adjust to that conditions.
Yeah, so you basically change the protocol so it doesn't reduce power as drastically.
Not too early, and when it loses, because as I said, safety reasons are important, it goes slowly. So you can feel it, and you can do like clutch kicks or even shift back if it's really bad.
So the Corolla originally comes with a rear rack setup. That means that the steering rack is behind the front wheels. And that means that engines with a front sump fit. The point I'm getting to is that it has a front sump. And I also see that the sump is modified to hold more oil.
It's modified by, I think, Thomas Highlander in Germany.
Yeah, I'm sure the engine would fit without modifying the firewall, but the firewall has been modified in order to put the engine further back and improve weight distribution. Is that correct?
It's correct.
I wanted to get to the front suspension because it is a rear rack car. That means it can utilize Nissan suspension. And Nissan suspension has been developed through the years for drifting at a very high level, and you're utilizing an S chassis wise fab. Is it
of
correct?
course, it's S14, S15. I think here I use S13 steering rack. You can use S13, S14, S15, doesn't matter, but I choose the angle kit from S14, S15 because of the 5 holes.
Did you have to fabricate the caster rod bracket yourself?
I built it on my own. I'm not a good welder, but I can weld if it's, it's easy, if it's a thick material. That's the reason why we use here 70 millimeters, because the Uniball from Weisfab is exactly 70 millimeters. So I used the metal 70 millimeters to make it easy for me. Of course, it has like 12 kilograms. That's maybe you saw my crash in CDC in the training.
No, I didn't.
Here you can see that this pipe is broken, but that's not all. We are flying into a container because in the chase run, a guy before me was making a very clean run, but slowly. So in the transition, I need to brake more than I accepted, and on the other corner I was going into the tire wall, which put my car in the other direction, of course, and go straight into a container, a metal container. Nothing damaged on the car really. As you can see, the bash bar and everything is a little bit trash, but no things on the engine, no things on the intercooler, nothing. And we could continue after half an hour, come down, because it was a big crash.
Do you have footage of that?
No. We have a video and the photo from outside, but they cut it because there were
people there.
There were people. One jumped away out of 3, and 2 were running away, but I touched them, I think. They are not hurt. That's the most important. Most important, they are not hurt. Second, I'm not hurt. Third, the car is damaged, but doesn't matter. Most important are the people around. And also, I had a passenger inside. First question was, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm okay." Jumped out and checked everything. But that's the funny thing. We had that big crash on the training. 1 hour or 1.5 hours before the top 32 pedals, managed to win all till the final and
the event and the championship.
And the championship.
So the tube front end definitely does its job.
Yeah.
What are the brakes in the front?
It's from S14
Uh-huh.
as the angle kit, but it's stock. So no sports brakes or something.
Also original pads?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Nothing special. So.
No, it's.
I see.
But the original is, I think, 4 pistons.
Yeah.
So it works good.
It is a good brake package from the factory.
Yeah. On the dry tracks, we use now the Extreme VR2. It's working very good on the dry.
In the
ground.
225, 45, 70.
Yeah. In wet, we use the VR3. It's and softer. It's treadwear like 80, I think.
Oh.
80 or 50.
The softest.
The softest, and really holds you on the track. You can make mistakes, and everything. The tire will save you.
So the cabin in the Corolla is basically really small.
I will sit in. It's easy, I think.
Yeah, just walk me around. Tell me what's the management, what are the gauges?
The most important thing here is, I hope you see it on the camera here, it's the hand of my son. Felix is now 1.5-year-old, and he's he and my wife are one of the biggest supporter. They help me, my wife helps me in the organization of the event, doing all this stuff. I make tires and everything, mechanic, but she makes everything around. And when like yesterday, it was a bad day for me. I was not driving good, and today she sent me so much videos of Felix, and then the feeling is going up, because he makes a good feeling and pressure on me to do what I need to do. It's the most important thing. But yeah, the dash is very old one. You can do some things with the buttons, but it only has the temperature from the exhaust, from the air intake, oil and water, voltage, and the oil pressure. And of course you can do a little bit more diagnostic. I can put the RPM input. Of course now it is 0 because the engine is not running, but that's pretty much everything.
What type of dash is that?
I don't know. Really.
I don't know.
I don't know the name, I don't know anything about it. It also put me 2 times out of competition because there is a fuse inside. I need to turn off. It's a fuse inside, but it was too less ampere or milliampere in this case, and it broke. And we lost again, top 16 in, I think that was in against Mako in CDC round 3 in Zagreb. But now I know what is in. It should work. It's 1 ampere. Before it was like 300 milliampere. It's less, because the reason is not the current. It works, but heat is coming from the engine and from everything, and inside the room, the passenger room, it gets hot, and the heat was the reason why it
burst. Yeah. I see. So you got a standard sport steering wheel.
Yeah.
A hydraulic handbrake is nothing special, but a very important tool.
I don't know who, but somebody built it. But it works.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
And
the shifter is important in my opinion. The fly off, of course, should work, and the shifter, what is now IRP, I think.
Yeah.
IRP, and it doesn't matter IRP or N parts or something, NP parts or something. It only needs to shift like fast. We shifted now, yeah. But it should be fast, and it is fast. So.
I see you have an improvised grommet, so don't get so much hot air inside the cabin.
Yeah.
And that must be a data logger.
It's a data logger. I have it only since 3 months in. Before that, I put the laptop here and saved it with the belt.
Yeah.
It was not good, but data logging is very important. Today we changed also a lot. We did a dyno 2 or 3 months ago. He made a good setup, but on the track it's different. Dyno is dyno, track is track. You need to adjust the car on the track, and I wanted to make it on my own because I want to know what is in and what can you do,
Yeah.
what did you, what is the mistake if you did something wrong. And especially my biggest problem was between track and dyno, the intake air temperature. As I mentioned before, we lost 100 horsepower in one corner. That was because the intake air temperature gets too hot, or got too hot, and then shut down the boost control. Like from 1.5 bar to 1 bar spring pressure.
Yeah.
And now I changed it to slowly and changed a lot today. Works very good.
The dash here is really simple, only a few fuses.
This is not active because it was a Lambda, a Bosch 4.9. It's the faster one, but you know it's always flickering because you can't see the numbers correctly, and when you're drifting you don't want to look down there.
Yeah.
But now I have a 4.2, the older one. It's slowlier, but the car, not the car,
The
here
ECU.
is the ECU. The ECU can not only log it, it can also work with it. So now we have also, you know, all the corrections from the Lambda.
Yeah, so you have the table that you can set to the front and apply all the corrections.
The fuel table, the AFR table and everything. And yeah, the rest here, that is only the wipers. Fuses are also not that much, it's only like the fans and fuel pump, steering pump, and that's all.
The vital things.
Yeah.
So here we can also see the modification to the firewall and the tunnel.
Oh, that's not clean. As you can see, it's not clean because when we made here is better, but when we made the downpipe like 1 month ago, we also need to cut here and here, and it needed to go very fast because it was midnight and we need to finish the car. The most important was to get a bigger downpipe. To see how the car improves, and we only put it in that there was no time to make it clean, but doesn't matter, it's a drift car, it's not a style car, especially not on the inside.
Yeah, of course. Let me see how close is the gas pedal to the tunnel.
Here it's not that close, it's okay.
Okay.
But as I told you before, in the new car it is like here, so you are really sideways touching the tunnel.
The tunnel. I also see you have a brake bias valve.
Yeah.
So you can adjust your brake bias.
But to be honest, I don't work with it
at all.
I tried it, but I didn't feel a lot difference. And then I closed completely. I messed up. So I said, put it to the original setup. Works, and that's all.
Cool. What is the ECU in here?
It's Emu Classic, one of the oldest in the world, I think, because on the other side, now it's fixed, but on the other side it's written, attention, Polish language. And really it is like this, you cannot connect. Even most of the guys who wanted to help me from ECU Poland said you need the Polish windows, you need Polish language adjustments on the everything.
Interesting.
But it was that easy. I wrote the email to Poland and they gave me only a key punkt data, that's all. I put on the laptop and it works only with my laptop. You cannot put the data to another laptop because the MAC address is not the same. And everyone tells me change it. Why? It works. We have the data logger now here in the canvas. So
Yeah.
Why should I change
If
it?
it's
It
in
works.
the old case, but if it works just
It works.
as it should,
So-
there's no reason to change it. So this aluminium structure is a so-known bird's cage.
There is nothing behind it.
Nothing.
No,
Where are the water pipes?
there are the water pipes. Yeah. You're not allowed in most of the series to use the water pipes in the car, except when you lock them, like I did, but should be a little bit more stable, like it is here. But it's okay. The most important here is the firewall, because behind me is battery and radiator and everything. The rubber pipe breaks because of some reason, more pressure, or I don't know. Even here, of course, there will come out the hot air and the water and everything.
Yeah.
But it saves the feet of the passenger, and we have like 5 seconds to jump out. If it's directly, you will get burned.
It's not an ideal solution. Ideally, water
No.
pipes would run on the outside.
Yeah. The new car we have, it's the same chassis. We are running under the driver's seat, but on the floor in the underground. But we need to go up like somewhere here, only to go up and behind the wall. So it's only like 30 centimeters, but we will not put there rubber. It will be welded aluminium. Cannot break.
Yeah.
Or should not break. Of course it can, but to be more safe.
Yeah.
Here never had a problem. My cooling temperatures are like 85 degrees water and 95 oil, and that's all.
Even
I
after
can-
2 runs.
Yeah, I can push the car all the way through. I use both the electrical pump and the original mechanical pump.
Interesting.
The reason is, I said when the electric pump is damaged or a fuse, you know, something
Yeah.
can break, it's over.
Yeah.
And the mechanical pump still does the work.
So the mechanical pump can push water through the electrical
yeah.
pump?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But also the mechanical pump on idle is a blockade
Okay.
for the electricity water pump, because you know it's running also only with the RPMs. The engine is running, so there is not that much flow.
Do you know anything about the cage? Was it like a DIY build, or is this
I don't-
an off-the-shelf cage?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know.
Despite
Who built
it,
it,
Oh.
it's not bad, but it's also not that clean. It could
Yeah.
be a lot cleaner.
it looks like an old cage, but nonetheless it has a lot of space around your head, which is
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah.
And the door bars are plenty high for any side impacts.
Yeah.
I also like the rare feature of cages that have an X, but they're kinked towards the outside, because that gives a lot more room in the cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Austria, you can drive like, I don't know, 100 hours on the highway. Nobody will ever wave to you, and I can't really talk about that. It's annoying. You come to Croatian Drift Challenge, to Night Strike or something. On the highway, the fans out there, even if they are not coming onto the track, even if they are only driving, I don't know, holiday or something, they will wave to you and give attention to you.
Yeah.
That's the reason
That's-
why I think motorsport in Austria, not only drifting, but drifting extremely. In Austria, rally is more important, rally and hill climb and
Yeah.
that stuff, slalom,
Yeah.
but not.
They don't understand how interesting drifting
Yeah.
really is. So the doors, fiberglass.
Everything is fiberglass.
Yeah. The
so-
windows, Lexan,
Yep.
lightweight.
Yeah.
Our fenders are there just so the wheels are under
Yep.
a certain protection that doesn't really do much, but the rules say they have to be
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Quarter panels, also fiberglass. Front ones also.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Only the rear ends here is metal,
Mhm.
but as you can see on the CDC in the finals against Nikola Ilic, we had some contact.
Yeah.
The rear end was like 20 or 30 centimeters pushed to the left,
Yeah.
and I had no time to make it clean. It looks like a car.
Yeah.
That's all.
Even the rear headlights are made of a sheet of aluminium, I
That's
think.
aluminium with black foil around it, wrapped, and
Rear
yeah, but
lights
it-
are
it-
just LED strips.
and it looks not so bad on this side. On the other side, it's really damaged, but yeah, that's drifting. It's
Contact
you know,
sport.
you're not planned to have a contact, but if it happens, in this case, I was the leader. Nicola was chasing me, and it was a big hit because, as I said, it's original metal, and it's not easy to bend it that big.
Yeah.
So we had a big contact, but both of us did a clutch kick and finish the whole track. That's drifting. You're not like some do, of course, but when you got hit, I and also he tried to stay on the track. But you not only want to do your lap and your competition, you also want to do the show for the fans. And if we say, "Wow, he touched me," I will go straight and over. It's no show for the fans.
Yeah, I think good sportsmanship is when you always try to finish the run, always. I'm glad you understand that things like that happen, so you're not mad at Nicola.
No, of course not.
And you also haven't played any games. You tried to drift through it and you managed. So it was a good show for the fans, and it was a good battle between you two.
It was great.
So here we have the rear radiator with mismatched fans. What kind of radiator? Why this one?
Why?
And why here?
The biggest reason was the weight, because the Corolla with the heavy front 1JZ engine has like 55% in the front of the weight and 45% in the rear. We changed the radiator, we changed the battery, we also changed a little bit fuel tank and put it more down. As you can see, there is no space, so we put it as close as possible. The sizes are like, this ball is one of the best I know, and this was the only one who was fitting here and was available on the internet. One big problem here is we don't have a, we need a what's the name?
What, you need a divider?
Yeah, I need a divider because when this goes first and that will go later.
Oh, so it pulls air inside.
It pulls air here because there are two big holes through. If this goes first, it's okay, but it's too weak. That one is stronger. So in the future we will have a divider here, but now we put both at the same time.
So you have a simple tube structure that is protecting the fuel cell and the radiator.
Yeah.
Tell me, what kind of radiator is that?
Mishimoto, not the biggest one, it's one of the middle ranges.
So it's a universal one.
Yeah, it's a universal.
I always ask that people who have rear radiators, because random people always keep asking which type of radiator to choose. Tell me, what is the secret of this car being so fast on 17s?
On this car, you can't change the chamber. You also can't change the, you know the name?
The toe?
Toe?
Yeah.
So that's good because you can't make it worse.
Yeah.
Of course, in other car you can make it better, but when you can't make something worse, it works always the same way.
Exactly.
And you can adjust with the lower link. Here's one, and here is somewhere the second hole. You can adjust how the car squats and handles the grip when you accelerate.
So you
and also with the spring here, the tamper rate and
So you can
only these two possibilities.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy to say on this track I need more grip. Let's make it softer and let's put it to the low. If I want to have less grip, I go up and harder. So it's pretty easy on tracks like from 60 to 120 kilometers per hour. It works perfect.
Yeah. So with the lower link, you can adjust the anti-squat.
Yeah.
And with that, you basically adjust how much of the weight shifts via suspension linkage or how much shifts via springs. And also with shocks, you can simply basically dial in or dial out your side grip by a lot. The only thing you have to manage here is you have a solid rear axle, and if those shocks get too soft, you can get wheel hop off the line.
Yeah.
And probably also while drifting, or?
Yeah, on the first bump.
Yeah.
Of course, like you said, when I'm going soft,
Yeah.
I go over the first bump and then it's shaking, and you are not able in this like 20 meters of bumping to accelerate clean and controlled.
Mm-hmm.
That is one problem. I think other cars don't have. Yeah.
You said the axle was from a Toyota Tundra?
Hilux.
From a Hilux, and the gears are from an IS200.
Yes.
I see also you have an adjustable Panhard bar.
Yeah.
The Panhard bar is very important. It keeps the suspension centered.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a standard 4-link solid rear axle.
Yeah.
And as far as I can see,
but it's an original one. That means the lower are longer and the upper are half of the length. So the problem is when you you squat the car, the differential goes, you know, on an angle. Yeah. On the new car we have called the equal length 4 links, and it goes up like nearly straight. It changes angle like not even a degree. It's less than a degree, and here it changed like 3 or 4 degrees. And
did you have any problems with the dry shaft because of that, or
one time, but it was because we put a new gear box in, and there was too less length adjustment.
Yeah.
And the shaft crashed into the differential and destroyed the gears.
So it was basically your mistake.
No, yeah. Most of the time, like 95%, it's on my car, but I think also on other cars, it's the reason of the driver and not of the car. Of course, when something is really not good, then it's mechanical issue.
Yeah.
But most of the times, like also yesterday in my training sessions and today in the top 8, it's top 16, we had a one more time because of my mistake, and later differential broke. But also not only the car is the reason, also I am, because if you do a warm-up, it's good to make smooth warm-up, and I did too much, you know,
too aggressive or
too
clutch
aggressive.
kick.
Yeah.
And you broke it. So the car ended up broken, but I'm sure you'll fix it and be on the track in no time. It's also interesting to see V-bands here, so you can put an extra silencer if there was a noise limit.
For wet drifting in Austria, we have limit 83.
One last thing about the car, what's the transmission?
It's a ZF from BMW E36, 34, some generation.
So it's the gasoline 5-speed.
The 5-speed.
The one everyone runs.
Yeah, it's rated for 310 or 320 Newton meters. My car has now like 500 or something, I don't know exactly, but handles that without the problem. Since 2019, the same gearbox.
Yeah.
It makes noise. Also made noises 2019. We changed to a new one. Was leaking, changed back to the old one, and still running the loud gearbox. It's on the idle. It's like, but it works since 4 years and never let me down here.
So you're now running 400 horsepower and 500 Newton meters. Do you still
Something
have
like that.
a single disc clutch?
Single disc and no springs. So we have single flywheel.
Yeah, single mass flywheel.
Single mass flywheel, and and no springs on the clutch. But it works super. I can also drive on the trailer slowly.
The rear differential is what ratio?
It's hard to say. First, when I bought the car, it was 4.3, what was definitely too short. We changed, after it broke the first time, we changed to 4.1, what was maybe the best. And since the last 3, we have 3.9.
So you're on third gear.
third gear and works like in Croatian Drift Championship in Zagreb and Grobnik, and here in Night Strike and Hrušica. On the hill climb, it works perfect with the third gear, but Maria Posch in Hungary,
Short.
I need to use the fourth gear, but it's too long, and the third gear is too short. Even now, when I changed from 330 to 400 horsepower. 2019 I was competing or taking place, let's say this, because some are trainings and some were events. 32 in 1 year, 32 events.
Wow.
And 2020 was nearly nothing, like 4.
Yeah.
2021 was like 5 or 6 events. 2022 was a little bit more, and this year we are nearly doing no training. We are only competing in competitions, and that's good because in competition you learn more than in training.
Every day on track in a competition setting is more than 1 day on track.
Even
in
if
experience.
you're only running like 10 laps.
Yeah.
But you learn more because, and it's also, that's the reason why I not focus completely on one scene and say that is it and over.
Yeah.
I want to drive like Slovenia, Croatia, Hungary, Poland last year, to see all the other guys. You know
I also have that same mindset to drive a lot, drive different events, different scenes, get to know people and build experience.
Yeah.
What got you into drifting? What was the first thing that inspired you?
Front drive car.
Front wheel drive car.
It was because of the snow on the street or parking place, and with the handbrake sliding and thinking that is drifting, but it's not.
What kind of car was that?
Golf 3.
Uh-huh.
And it was cool because after that I got an Audi 80, the old one, B3. With the Audi I was possible to do a circle on the...
Do donuts?
No, but not on the parking place, on a... what's the name? The circle...
roundabout.
Circle drive, a roundabout.
Uh-huh.
In a roundabout I was able to do with a front wheel drive a whole circle, because I always did accelerate and brake and accelerate. But yeah, that's not drifting. It's fun. You can do it, but also I'm happy to be away out of the street scene, because it's not legal, and of course you think it makes fun, but first time you are on the track, you know what is fun. You know what is grip, what you can do on the track, to go to the limits. On the street you cannot go to any limits, because
that's the big difference. I think I also realized the same thing, that you can push farther on a track than you can anywhere else, and that's why we keep going back to tracks.
I mean, of course, like the hill climb, it is cool to drive on the street if it's closed and you can go to the limits. There was the fence and everything, you can go to these limits, but when it's closed.
What was your first interaction with drifting? Where did it start? Like when was your first serious track day, serious competition that you saw and said like, wow, I want to do that, I will commit to it?
2018. It was the Austrian Drift Challenge on wet. Normally it is only time. They start, finish, time counts.
So it's like racing.
Action, no. And
so these are solo runs and timed.
The time counts, and you need to be sideways, but sideways 2 degrees is also sideways. So that's, in my opinion, stupid. I mean, it's faster, of course, a lot faster. Yeah. But they can go also for a normal race, like on the normal track, and not doing sideways. For me, that is not drifting. And there was 2018 the first time, not only time, it was battle competition. And I tried it. It was not so much like 10 or 12 drivers, and we got third place. And the first was a driver like I mentioned before, really shallowing everywhere, and was a lot faster than me. and still I put like 90 degrees everywhere because it's my style,
Mhm.
and I lost like 50 meters or something.
Yeah.
But it's my style, it's drifting, but that was the thing where I recognized now we need a faster car, stronger car, and go to dry tracks.
Mhm.
Wet track days are good to save money, to save all the materials, you know, the forces
Yeah.
on everything, gearbox, clutch, rear end. It's not that much.
Tell me about you and drifting in the next 3 years.
But the plan is next year the new car will be finished. Maybe this year for testing, but I'm not sure. And we will compete. Maybe the first is in April in Tököl near Budapest
Mhm.
to test the car. If it's not ready, I will go with this car, the Pro Series as well, because I saw it will work. Of course, there are guys like you know from Hungary, Kevin Biscolti, who is driving Drift Masters. That is one of the opponents there.
Yeah.
So would also be good to train with that guys.
Mm.
Also with this car, with this
Yeah,
motor. But the
yeah.
plans are the new car and the series. I don't know exactly. Plan was Hungarian Championship, Croatian Championship, some of Drift Kings Europe.
Mhm.
Everything in the highest level what we are able to enter,
Yeah.
like the pro. And also, it's not a secret, but it's also not 100% sure, Iron Drift King. Because on Iron Drift King you are able, if it works, you are able to show like the judges from Drift Masters what you can do, because they also watch
Yeah.
the complete event of Iron Drift King. And also you have the possibilities in the pre-qualifying to qualify to are able to go to the Drift Masters.
So you can
I mean,
be
that-
like a
that-
wild
that-
card there.
Yeah. When you are 1, 2 and 3 in the qualification, you are the wildcard driver.
Mhm.
But of course you need to go again on the qualification
For the Drift Masters.
for the Drift Masters, and that's the plan.
Yeah.
And then maybe then we focus and show the people what we can do,
Mhm.
and maybe 2025 will change.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't have a plan for 2025. My family also goes first, so we will see how family works. Everything is the plan. Yeah.
I would like to wish you best of luck there.
Thanks.
Now tell the people who are watching the video where can they follow your adventures.
Yeah, we have Instagram, Facebook, Lukas Dobias at LD Drift Team. I know some, not old, but older guys like 35 to 45. That age is YouTube.
Mhm.
We don't have YouTube. We will have YouTube soon, and upload everything we have. Plan is on YouTube to reach all people in other ages.
Mhm.
And also we need to do a website. That's not a main point what I want to do. YouTube is more important, and our video series of the new car.
Okay, let's finish this video. I'm sure you have something to say to anyone who wants to get into drifting and be serious about it. What would be an advice you have to give? What were the mistakes maybe you made? But don't get too specific. Give advice to someone who wants to get into drifting and be seriously competitive like yourself.
In my opinion, it's hard to go from 200 horsepower to 400, because at 200 horsepower everything is cheap, everything works, and it makes fun. And
Yeah.
it's not extremely, but it is possible to win something.
Mhm.
Not at a podium, but you can win a battle.
Mhm.
As last year, Ivo
Yeah.
was against me, and I wanted to leave some space, and recognized, oh, he's not slowly.
Mhm.
So if you want to go to drifting and see what you can reach, or if you like it, use a weak car, like not 100 horsepower, some use 100, that's not good. 150 to 250, that's the range where you start.
Yeah.
and do not only one round, do at least 1 year. Better 2 years, depends on what you're able to buy and so on. And then when you see you're really good and it works, it fits you, drifting is your sport, make more power, but not like me 300 or 350, because there the problems start, the money starts, everything starts, but you only have 100 horsepower more than before.
Yeah.
Like BMW with 200 horsepower costs like 6,000 euro, but a good one. And my car now costs like 55,000, has 400 horsepower and problems all the way.
Yeah.
No, that was too much. On this year, everything worked perfectly. Last year we had a lot of problems with the shaft and drive shaft and gears on the differential, like today, and also the differential broke. But if you see you have talent and everything, go to 600.
So
you know,
you
spend the money in the right way. But yeah, talented guys like that are not that often, so it's better to use the 200 horsepower, collect experience, and yeah, then you will see what is possible. Yeah.
Cool. This is Eric speaking. I hope you enjoyed this in-depth look and introduction of Lukas Dobias. This was shot after the Night Strike event at like midnight, so excuse our tired voices and mistakes in English. We missed some of the details like coilovers, but anyways, I hope you found some useful knowledge in this video. If you have some more questions for Lukas, put them down in the comments. Also let us know if you like the English format and long form introductions such as this one. If you like this video, don't forget to like it, share it and subscribe. This is all for today, and see you in the next one.